Hello. Hello. I am Rico Jr.
Wow. I never realized I sounded like that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Tonight we have a special guest. A lot of you already know who this is because you've sent me things, but I just want to see, too, throw it in the chat who you think this is. You might already be able to recognize him underneath that luscious hair and beard. But so it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday. I see the regular crowd shuffling in, and there's an old man sitting next to me making love to his tonic and gin over there.
I don't have my tonic and gin.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Yep. Dr. Awesome. Steven says easy. Gandalf. Fanatical says Gandalf. No, Gandalf. Leave the beard. Leave the beard.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave the beard for a while. That's good. Okay. That looks hilarious. All right. It's Merlin, USL said. Okay. Hey, everybody. So normal deal. The whole first half here is just going to be Dr. Awesome and myself having a conversation. The second half, we'll open up to questions from the chat. Mods, please, if you see people asking questions and stuff, just give them a gentle reminder that we do that so people don't think we're just ignoring them. John McKenzie says, remember the first half, blah, blah, blah. You got it. You got it. And thanks, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. And before we jump in, couple of stuff, a few things going on still tonight. We have Kenny, ABC, Biotope Creations, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's doing his 500 sub giveaway. He's doing his one of the first, might be the first live stream on his channel. He's been up on a lot of people's channels. I don't know if it's first one, but it's one of his first live streams. Unfortunately, it's the same time that Aquafunk goes. It's at 10 p.m. And then also later tonight at 11:30 p.m., Misfit is having a game night with a whole bunch of people on there. We're going to be playing Cards Against Humanity. That's going to be a lot of fun, too. So check those out. Okay. I think we covered everything. What I didn't ask you, though, is how are you on time tonight? If we go 2 hours, are you good with that, or you got just 1 hour?
I only have 5 hours. That's it.
Okay, only 5 hours. So I'll try and get that all in. Yeah. I think we might be able to get it in, but I know you've had a pretty interesting life, so this might be tough. We'll have to talk fast.
I don't know about interesting, but I've had a life.
You've had a life. All right. Well, let's start at the beginning.
I got to take the beard off. I can't talk with it on.
You get used to it.
Yep.
Plus, I keep it away from it. I can't stand it.
I know.
Keep it. You got it. You keep yours nice and trimmed.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you currently live in California. Are you California born and raised? Is that your
born and raised here in Southern California? I grew up, was born and raised and grew up in the Imperial Valley, which is south of Palm Springs, out in the middle of the desert, about 50 miles from the Arizona border.
Yep.
And about 10 miles from the Baja California border.
I know the area pretty well. It's farming, a lot of farming on there. Yeah. They farm a lot.
My mother's family, she was born and raised there as well, were farmers. And my dad was stationed there in the military. There's a big Navy base. Used to be called the National Parachute Test Range. And my dad was stationed there in the Army. He was in the testing corps right before Vietnam War.
And he met a farmer's daughter.
He met a farmer's daughter. Stopped by to get some ice water or some water from the house. And
yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history. And here I am.
And I know you haven't moved around, but you've lived in different places for short times. Yep. Like I know you said you went to LSU, right? For college.
I went to LSU for 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
I started my PhD at LSU, and then they kicked me out.
What'd you do?
I got a C in a class, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
And that's grounds for dismissal.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I never went any farther.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And Visine, I am going to look at the chat when those pop up there, but already been 6 months. Visine has been a member for 6 months. That's amazing to me that we've had memberships for 6 months already. That's crazy. And thanks to the members. I appreciate that. have you lived in other places too? And we'll get into the Peru stuff and all that. But I mean, have you lived in other places for any length of time?
Yeah, Texas for 10 years.
Oh, okay. What part? All over or
no, Amarillo.
Okay.
I was a professor at what was called West Texas State. Now it's West Texas A&M University in Canyon, Texas. I lived in Portales, New Mexico for 1 year. That was my first academic position after my PhD. Lived in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's where after they kicked me out of LSU, I went to Northern Arizona.
Oh, Flagstaff.
And that's where I did my PhD there.
Okay. And how long did you stay there then? Just for another year or?
Oh, no. That was 6 years, I think. I was
Gotcha.
5 or 6 years.
Did you live right in Flagstaff or?
Live right in Flagstaff, yep.
I do. Yep. That's one part of Arizona I really miss. The northern part of Arizona, not the northern part, but that middle section, the Mogollon Rim and north is just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, Sedona, Oak Creek Canyon, that area. If you get over to the White Mountains on the east side of Arizona, that's really nice.
What's the river? There's a river that comes out of the White Mountains that actually flows north. There's not a lot of river that flies north, but I think it's
I've been fly fishing there, so
beautiful. And what about the Oak Creek West Fork of Oak Creek Canyon? Have you ever hiked that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. You're the only person I've met, and so that was our hike. That was where we loved to go the most. I absolutely love that. We would hike like the first 3 miles is all maintained, right? But then after that, you can go it's like 18 miles through the canyon.
Yep.
And if you get back there far enough, you're allowed to camp and nobody's around. Yep. And you'd get into that section, you climb up just a little bit, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, that whole area is gorgeous.
One of my favorite places in the world. That's weird though, because you're the only other person when I've ever even said the West Fork of Oak Creek Canyon. You're the only person who knew about it. So beautiful area. Okay, keep going. I interrupted you. So it was Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, Louisiana, and California.
That's the only states I've ever really lived in.
Okay. Have you wanted to live in other states? I imagine you sort of have to follow where you.
Yeah, that's in academics. You go where you can get a job.
Yeah.
It's not like, you're a computer engineer and you say, okay, I want to go to Seattle. I want to go to Denver.
Yeah.
There's very few people who can actually choose where they want to go.
Gotcha.
But, we may retire in a few years and move out of state. We just don't know right now.
Gotcha. If you could pick any place in the U.S., within the U.S., where would it be? In California?
No. I would say somewhere in Oregon. I would like to retire with a stream or a river in my backyard.
Yeah.
I really would. That's, it's one of those things that I've always wanted.
Yeah. I could see the insert name of Oregon River here. Center for ornamental fish.
Yeah. But there's a lot of beautiful places in the U.S. that that are nice, but it's close enough to family. My daughters live here, the grandkids live here. My wife's family lives in Oregon, outside of Portland, so we'd be moving closer to them.
Yeah,
and the joke is that in the family is we would retire, we would move there, and 6 months later she would die. And I'm stuck in Oregon by myself without my family, only her family around.
Wow, that's very dark. That's very dark.
That's kind of me,
How does she feel about this? You've told me, you've said her name before. What's her first name?
Her name's Renee.
Okay, how does Renee feel about this joke?
Oh, she knows me.
Did she get thoughtful when you say it? Like
no, no.
Like
because the joke at first was, I told her, because my wife does not like the desert at all. She lived for a while in Tucson, didn't like it. And so the first time we went to visit my family in the Imperial Valley, her comment was, there's a lot of earth tones here because it's all brown, no greens, it's all brown. Yeah. I told her, when you die, you're going to be buried out here. I'm going to bury you because you don't like it so much that I'm going to bury you here. And her daughters tell her, don't worry, Mom, we'll come, we'll dig you up and bring you home. Well, we have this kind of perverse humor at our family. So
yeah, we do too. If a lot of times people, if they heard us, they would think we absolutely hated each other, but we call each other just the worst names. But we know. Yeah. Is she from Arizona?
No, she's actually from Orange County, where we live. Yeah.
Okay.
So she was born and raised here where we live. So.
And I know, we don't usually do focus on plus like this, but what does she do for a living? Because she's heavily involved with the center.
Yeah. She has a master's degree in nursing. And for the past, probably since we've been married, she's been in hospital administration.
Okay.
So that's what, she actually retired a few years ago. And then her old CEO called her while we were in Peru, said, I would like to talk to you about something. And it was to start she runs and starts neural and cardiac programs for hospitals. And her old CEO moved to a new hospital and they wanted her to come to start a new neural program for them. So that's what she's been doing for the past year now. That's, her main job is just to do that. She
really married down.
Well, the joke was that, I have 4 brothers and sisters, 3 sisters and 1 brother. And when Renee and I first met, my sister, who's just 2 years older than me, went to my mother and said, I'm really worried about Anthony. I think this woman he's dating might be a gold digger. After all, he's a college professor. When they told me that, I laughed because my wife at the time, before we got married, was a perfusionist. She ran the heart-lung machine during open heart surgery. And she would make in a weekend what I make in 2 months. So if anybody, I was the gold digger. I was marrying for money, surely not her.
Yeah. And you know what? We'll get into that later. I do want to touch on the center and stuff. So we'll get into that later, what her role is there and stuff.
Okay.
So what exactly is what are you a professor of?
I'm a professor of biology and environmental studies.
Okay.
And that's just a generic thing. But my area of expertise is fish ecology.
Okay. And have you always been interested in that field, or was there some kind of trigger that made you interested in that? I mean, way back when you were a kid, were you?
Yeah. When I was a kid, when we had that first aquarium, I was, 9 years old. And that really made me want to do what I'm doing. In high school yearbooks, you always have, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, mine was to be a marine biologist. Had no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
But, I first started working in marine fishes. I worked for my PhD. I worked in the Red Sea, working on coral reef fish ecology.
Wow.
So I was, I guess, a marine biologist.
You at least were in the general area. And real quick, Austin, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it, sir. Good to see you. I'm going to try and hit those as they come up.
No problem.
So I don't miss them, because the one time I ignored them, I missed a whole bunch. I felt horrible. So thank you, Austin. So you always pretty much knew what you wanted to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Why did you just change glasses? I'm curious.
For some reason, these glasses, I was doing some water changes and I don't think I cleaned them very well.
Okay.
So.
I just wondered if you had different glasses for different things.
No, these are just reading glasses. The other ones are reading and, they see everything, but for some reason.
They're not X-ray.
No.
Yeah, you would have been screaming. That's I can easily tell when somebody's wearing X-ray glasses. Okay, so you always knew what you wanted to be, and you were laser focused on that pretty much for your entire educational career.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, so you went to school where? Where were all your different schools at?
First
college.
Yeah, I first went to a community college. High school was just too easy for me. I never studied in high school, not because I was smart, but I don't think I was challenged in high school. So, and I realized I was not mature enough to go away to college. I realized that about myself. Had really never been away from home.
Yeah.
And so I went to community college in our hometown, and then transferred to UC Santa Barbara, where I got a bachelor's degree in aquatic biology.
Okay. And then carried on with the.
Yeah. From there, I did a master's degree in Louisiana at one of their state regional universities, and then LSU for that 1 year.
And what was it about Louisiana too that just had the right type of program that you liked, or was it far enough away from home, or what was it about it that made you want to go there?
It was the only place that offered me money to go.
Oh, okay.
In sciences, it's a lot different than a lot of other academic areas. They give you teaching assistantships or research assistantships, and that's really how you decide where you're going to go, is who gives you the most money.
Gotcha.
I mean, the most money to live. I got $400 a month. That's what they gave me, $400 a month.
Woo! You were raking it in.
Oh, I was. I thought I was.
You told me you did live on the ramen during that time period.
I did live on top ramen. Yes, it wasn't good ramen. It was top ramen.
Top ramen. Yep. Excuse me. Okay. And then we walked through all of the different schools and stuff that you went to. Okay. And did you ever do anything for a living other than in education? No. Have you ever had any other job? What about high school and stuff? Did you work in high school? Did you have any?
I worked in high school. I actually started working when I was about 12 or 13 years old. My first job was in a tomato packing shed.
Oh, okay.
Summer. So I had lots of summer jobs, tomato packing shed. I was a lifeguard since I was 16 till I was 21. So for 5 summers, I was a lifeguard.
Nice. That's a good time to be a lifeguard.
Yep.
That's a fun time to be a lifeguard, I should say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you did a lot of just little jobs like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you decided to.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to actually get into the teaching part of it?
My father was a elementary and junior high teacher for 35 years. And all I remember him talking about were the bad students. I'm sure he talked about the good students, but the bad students are what really stood out with me. And so I never wanted to be a teacher. That's not something I thought I wanted to do. Believe it or not, I was very shy growing up. Even in college, giving talks in front of the class, I would almost break down before class because I was so scared.
Yeah.
But during my master's program, I TA'd a course, and the instructor actually allowed me to teach some of the material. And I realized, hey, this is kind of fun. This is not so bad. And at that point, I realized, this wouldn't be a bad thing to do.
Gotcha. It really was a case of try it, you might like it.
Yeah.
I think more people should take that into account, myself included.
Yeah, even after I got my PhD, I thought I was going to run a fish store. I really did.
Yeah.
And I had a job in a fish store during my first year of teaching, just, a little side job just to keep up with fish. And I hated it.
Yeah. Just to hold it, dealing with customers, or what, the whole thing?
Customers. Yes. I hate dealing with customers. I'm not a very good business person. Even now, I give more fish away, or sell fish for 50% of what I bought them for.
Yeah.
So, I'm just not a business person. I don't have the business acumen at all.
Let me grab that real quick. 2 pounds from Fanaticals. Fanatical. Every little bit helps. It does. And thank you, man. I appreciate it. Always appreciate those all the time. Super chats always make me feel good. I should have not said that. Sorry. Okay. So the fish store, it was just dealing with the customers and all that stuff that you just didn't like any of it.
I just didn't like any of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you thought, well, teaching seems to be it. I'm not going to own it. And back to the fish. So you're always interested in fish. Did you always keep fish too way back when?
Since I was 9 years old, I've always had at least one aquarium going.
Gotcha. And freshwater and saltwater? Do you focus more on
I had both, yeah.
Okay.
And when I was in college at UC Santa Barbara, I had a marine tank, primarily a cold water tank from the stuff that we had just locally.
Yeah.
And then
That's cool.
There was a point where with the reef stuff now, I got away from the marine fish just because there was no captive breeding going on. And, I know how they collected some of this stuff with dynamite and cyanide and, seeing fish that would live for 1 month in a fish tank, no matter what you did to it, because of how bad they were treated to begin with. So at that point, I went away from marine tanks.
And I really, honestly, I don't know anything really about salt. I've never kept salt. Haven't been interested in it yet. I'm sure at some point, but has that gotten a lot better today? Is there a lot more captive breeding today?
Oh yeah, there's a lot more captive breeding, especially even the corals now. They're doing frags of corals and growing them, in people's houses now that you can buy. There's less raping and pillaging of the reefs for live rock. They're doing a lot of live rock seeding, taking rock from land and putting them in the ocean for a couple months and seeding them with bacteria and things. So it's a much better hobby. There are still some things that you can only get in the wild. But look at the clownfish. There are 20, 30 different types of percula clowns, all these different color morphs, and that's all captive bred. I don't like them. I don't necessarily like those color morphs, but people go crazy over them. And I think that's doing a good service to the hobby because it's all being captive bred.
Yes. The more of that. I mean, even the freshwater like that too, though. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's still. What would you guess? What would just off the top of your head? What would you guess would be captive as opposed to farm, or I should say captive farmed as opposed to wild caught? I guess it depends. Really, it comes down to species, right?
Yeah,
because
for in marine fishes, it's probably still about probably 25%
is captive
being farm raised, captive bred.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, yeah. So it's still a pretty low number.
Yeah, pretty low number. Like a lot of the angelfish, they're not being captive bred very much. Clownfish, damselfish are, but there's still a lot of organisms. It takes a lot to captive bred marine fish because the larvae spend about a month in as as plankton, eating the tiniest foods, and that's the stumbling block many people have is you have to be able to culture rotifers. You have to be able to culture all these tiny microorganisms that it's difficult to do that.
Yeah. And just a quick aside on that. There is a person that we know. He's a Canadian fish keeper, Jesse, JN Aquarium, who does have a ton of clownfish that he breeds, and he does have rotifer colonies and stuff going. And he shows that you don't really need a lot of equipment to do it either. I mean, he does a lot of stuff just with 10-gallon tanks, no special equipment. I mean, his setup is not expensive at all.
Yeah.
So it is possible too. Well, that was a spider. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a big, chunky spider. Wow. Hope he comes back down. If he comes back down, I'll get him for you. Okay. He's like right up here. What did he drop something? I'm trying to see if he dropped a web or something. Nope. I have spiders all in my room. I don't kill them. I don't kill them.
I in my fish room I have crickets. And so I actually have some chameleons, some little not chameleons. That's what we used to call them growing up. Anoles, Anolis carolinensis and stuff in the fish room that just, I let them loose in there to eat all the crickets.
Nice. I love that. I love that idea. The spiders are great. People are like, I remember Jason one time saying, clean your room, when I talked about it, but I like having the spiders, and they do, they take care of a lot of different bugs and stuff that are more detrimental. So I don't ever kill them. I don't take them outside. I just leave them alone. Unless they crawl on me and I accidentally,
kill them. I used to do a lot of dart frogs, and we had spiders. No matter what we did, we had spiders in the house because we had fruit flies all the time, just crawling all over the place. My wife loved them. We're eating dinner, and a fruit fly crawls across her dinner plate. She didn't much appreciate that. So no more dart frogs right now. So
gotcha. That's a good segue too. How did you meet Renee?
Renee actually was a research volunteer for me on a research project in Israel, working on clownfish, actually, way before anybody even thought about Nemo. So it was in 1996 is when we met.
Okay.
And then we were married a year later.
Gotcha. Nice. That's a cool way.
Yep.
Out away from home like that now. And you said she was married before?
She was married before, yes, and been divorced for about 16 years. And I tell my students, she's a few years older than me. And so my students ask me, "Oh, Dr. Mazerl, are you married?" "Yes." "You have kids?" "Oh, yes, I have twin daughters and they're 50 years old." And they say, "Oh, how old are you?" I say, "I'm 62. And they look at me, and I said, "Oh, I was a very precocious young man." And sometimes I get the thumbs up from the guys in the classroom, and they still can't figure it out. And I said, "You guys have to think outside the box."
Yeah.
I'm their stepfather. "Oh, okay.
Nice. But you're a grandfather now too.
I'm a grandfather. Yeah. 4 times over. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That just bothers me because I am not. Now my kids aren't 50. My oldest is 30, but I don't have any grandkids, and I keep telling them. I hint all the time for the oldest.
I went from being single to being a grandfather.
You like to cut out the middleman and just go right to the very efficient.
Very efficient.
So what kind of, we're going to shift gears a little bit. What kind of other things do you do in your spare time? What kind of things do you like to do? Do you guys like to go out to see live music? Do you like to read? What are some of the other things you like to do?
Hobbies. Used to play a lot of golf. Not much anymore. Golf is a little bit expensive in California.
Yeah.
When in Texas, we would play every Friday.
Did you ever play an actual? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Ever play an actual desert course where there is no green, where it's actually just like sand and stuff and very fine pebbles?
Well, there was a course in Amarillo that was just flat ground. Lots of ground,
baked caliche or something.
Yeah. It was just, it wasn't a good course.
Yeah, we had some of those. Arizona, we had some of those.
Yeah, I like playing the real grass. That's better for me. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to love to fly fish and fish. I enjoy photography. As someone who's worked on coral reefs, I love to scuba dive. I still scuba dive once in a while with one of my grandsons.
Nice.
I like photography, underwater video.
Yeah.
So these are the things I like to do. Don't do them as much anymore, but still things I enjoy doing.
Do you have any place where we can see some of your pictures and stuff like that? Do you have any
No, really don't.
Any place you posted them or anything? Okay.
No, but I probably have 10,000 slides.
Yeah.
Just.
I wonder how many people in the chat remember what slides are.
Yeah. Where you only had 36 photos to take underwater. That's it.
And you didn't get to that one's bad. That was what you got.
Yeah.
Got to do it right. So so walk me through like today. If you had you didn't have to work, you didn't have to do anything for anybody else, just for yourself, what would that day look like? Walk me through your day. What would you do on your basically your perfect day? What would you love to do all for yourself?
Oh, let's see, man, that's really perfect.
Is work a part of that?
Work is at this point, work is work. I like to get away from work.
Okay.
I enjoy watching my fish. Enjoy, the tank behind me. I put the goldfish. I don't have goldfish, but this was to just disguise who I was.
Yeah.
My big discus tank is something that I could sit there for hours and watch, the discus. If we lived in a place where there was a stream, I would go fly fishing.
Yeah.
I enjoy being outside in nature, but I also enjoy being inside.
Gotcha.
I'm a multifaceted person when it comes to that. I could veg for 3 days around the TV if I want, and
yeah,
or not, So there are things I like to do outside, and I enjoy just relaxing at home as well with my wife.
So you're pretty easy, basically. Pretty easy going. Let me add going on the end of that. You're pretty easy going. You can.
I'd have to ask my wife if I'm easy, but I am easy going.
Is she around?
Yeah, she's in the bedroom. She didn't want to disturb me right now.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say ask her, but that's okay. Okay, so we walked through hobbies. We walked through like your favorite day and your. All right, so let's move on to the center a little bit. And I didn't want to get too much into the center because even though you're heavily involved, it's not you. And we try to make these all about the person.
Yeah,
but I know that it's a big part of who you are today. So just start the beginning as far as how did you get the idea, or how did that start the center?
We'll go back a little bit before that. I started working in Colombia to begin with. I was looking at wanted to do some population genetics with discus, and there supposedly was a population of discus in Colombia. Come to find out, they are there, but they're in a place that, at the time, the FARC rebels controlled. And not even the Colombian scientists would go into that area. So that, it was kind of like a wasted couple of years trying to do all that work. So this was in a town called Leticia, which is right on the border between Colombia, Peru, and Brazil.
Okay.
So then I decided, well, let me find another place. So I wrote to all the exporters in Peru, in Iquitos, because there were no fish biologists at the universities in Iquitos. And I was looking for fishermen to help me with my research. And so the only exporter that contacted me was the largest exporters in Iquitos, which at the time was Stingray Aquarium. And so they had their general manager, whose name was Carlos, and he plays a very key role here, and their veterinarian, whose name was Fernando, and Fernando spoke English. Carlos does not, or did not, speak English at the time, and 14 years later, Carlos still doesn't speak English. Okay. He says he has no reason to learn to speak English. And so they actually helped me go out, catch fish, and we became really good friends. Fast forward about 6 years, there was some land that opened up, and Carlos emailed me and said, we have this opportunity to buy some land. You want to buy this land? I said, well, I never thought about buying land in Peru. He said, well, maybe we can start a research center. So it was actually Carlos's idea to start the research center. So we bought the land. It sat idle for a while. In Peru, they have some homestead laws that if you show use of land, it becomes yours. So we had a guy build a house on our land overnight, and the village that we bought the land from said, well, you don't have clear title yet, so a third of your land is now this guy's. So overnight we lost a third of our land. At that point, we realized we better build a fence all the way around it and put a little house on it. And so we did that, still sat idle. And then my wife and I talked about it and said, we either do this, see it through, or back away from it. And so for a year, I backed away from it. But I felt like I was disappointing myself. I felt like, I just gave up without trying. And so at that point, we decided, let's do this. Let's go into it full throttle. So that was about 7 years ago, really 7 or 8 years ago, when we really decided this is something we were going to do.
Okay.
So it's just not my decision, but it was her decision as well.
Yeah. And with you couldn't have done it without Carlos and Fernando.
No, couldn't have done it. Carlos. And Carlos is our resident manager now. You know, he's been with us from the beginning. He was still working for Stingray Aquarium. And actually about 4 years ago, we offered him a full-time position and we matched his salary. And so he quit Stingray and they've never forgiven us since then. Basically, I can go to Stingray and buy fish, but Carlos is not allowed on premise anymore.
Wow. Okay. He must have been a big part for them too.
Oh yeah. He was on call 24 hours a day.
Gotcha.
You know, he knew all about, he knows about medicine. He knows about diseases. He knows, you know, Carlos is probably the most well-known, well-rounded aquarist that I know. You know, he lectures all over Colombia, all over Peru, Ecuador on aquarium fishes and, you know, maintaining fishes in the aquarium.
Gotcha.
So he's, you know, he'd be a great person to have on my stream sometime, but he doesn't speak English. So
yeah. And I don't speak very much Spanish. I can understand a lot more than I can speak. Now, did you always speak Spanish, or did you learn Spanish over the years, or what?
I've learned Spanish over the years. My mother was Mexican American.
Okay.
So she spoke. We heard Spanish in the house. Our grandmother didn't speak any English at all. Sure. My grandmother came over to the U.S. in 1909 from Mexico. She became a citizen in 1986. So most of her life, she lived in the U.S., but wasn't a citizen until really late in her life. And so, you know, my mom would speak Spanish to her all the time, but she never taught us Spanish at all.
Huh. I wonder why.
My dad didn't want us, you know, my dad wanted us to speak English. You know, I could kill myself. I could, you know, knock myself over now thinking I had that opportunity to learn Spanish growing up, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I took French. My dad was French, you know, French Americans, but so I
get it. I mean, it's a little bit different time and stuff, but still, I just, to limit your kids like that, it just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. You know, living in Southern California, you think, you know, Spanish, especially the area, the agricultural area that I lived in and grew up in, it was, you know, 40-50% Hispanic. So, you
know, same with me, you know, living in Arizona for so long. And it's, you know, same type of thing. All my friends were Hispanic, and I did know a lot of people that were from Mexico. And I mean, you get used to just hearing it all the time and picking it up and stuff. And I would never imagine limiting my kids that way. In fact, I really push them to learn another language. And I think, again, different time. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunate. But so when did you actually pick up Spanish then?
I picked it up while working in Peru. I lose a lot of it when I come back to the States, because I don't really speak Spanish to anybody in the States. When my mother was alive, I tried to speak Spanish to her, and she would laugh at me when I spoke my Spanish. So it gave me a complex. But like many, you know, first generation Americans whose parents speak a foreign language, I understand a lot more than I can speak.
Yes.
You know, that's. And my wife is actually learning Spanish, and her Spanish was actually better than mine, even though she didn't know as many words, because she can conjugate the verbs correctly.
Gotcha.
I can't conjugate verbs. You know, it's not something I learned. So, but you know, when she speaks it, she would speak it very slowly, but she would conjugate the verbs exactly right. So instead of saying, you know, you know, they will do this or whatever, you know, she does it correctly.
Yeah. So how well do you and Carlos communicate then? He must have picked up a little bit of English. Yeah, just from you muttering at him and stuff.
Yeah, he cannot carry on a conversation in English.
Yeah.
But we have a language where, we communicate well. There are times when there's little misunderstandings, but Google Translate's a good thing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
Even though it's not 100%
it can be wrong
correct.
Too, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can be wrong. Yeah. There's some funny things that happen with that. So Carlos helped, and now you guys, you actually built an actual touristy type of aquarium down there that people can come in, and it's not open yet, or did it just open? You told me
it'll be open July 1st.
That's what I knew. You told me.
Yeah,
I forget things.
And we're going to actually live stream the opening, because we're going to have an opening ceremonies with people, with the local politicians and everything. So it's going to be a big shindig down there.
So how much of it is like indoors, as far as for the touristy part? It's
100% indoors. The only thing that's outdoors is we have an outdoor auditorium, to have little lectures for the kids or something, but it's all indoors.
Gotcha.
So it's a big building. Yep.
All I remember that sticks out is the little tunnel to get in there through the aquarium. That's that's really cool. How tall is that? The top of the arch?
The top of the arch is just a little over 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
Because Peruvians tend to be shorter people.
Okay.
So we didn't want to make it so tall so the little kids couldn't really not see what they're looking at. We wanted the kids to look right and left and look at inside the aquarium as they're walking through it.
Yeah, it is cool. I like that. I think that'd be amazing to have in your own home. Maintenance would be tough, but it'd be cool to have that.
Yeah. Yep.
Excuse me. There was other questions I had too about the. Yeah, I don't remember what my question was now. See, I told you I forget stuff. I guess we're 42 minutes in. I guess we'll go ahead and open up. I did have other questions I wanted to ask you. Maybe I should start writing shit down.
That's what I have to do.
Might be an idea.
You're at least 30 years older than me, so you.
I am not 30 years older than you. I should use something though, because I did have some other questions I was going to ask about I wanted to sort of, talk about the place, even though normally the focus on, again, is more focused on the person. But I know that this is such it's a big deal. It is. So how many people do you employ down there too? Is it just Carlos, or do you have like part-time people?
No, right now we employ full-time 4 people. And we have 2 part-time workers, 2 students that are in the aquaculture program there at the university, come in the mornings and help out, taking care of the fish for us that we have in the lab right now. We'll be hiring at least 4 more people once the aquarium opens up, because we have to have someone take tickets, someone inside for the, we have a little store inside the aquarium where you can buy, snacks and stuff. And then we'll have at least 2 people inside the aquarium that help the tourists. So show them what's going on. We and all our people that we hire come from this little village that the aquarium is in. So we're actually, being good neighbors to the little village that we're in.
Yeah, that's important. Remember an email we shared a while back? You told me about something that you wanted to do. Would you like to talk about that? There was something about, with YouTube and down there, and remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't want to give away.
No. Because someone asked me. I was on Alex's stream, just in the audience, a couple days ago, and he started saying, okay, Dr. Mazerl, why don't you tell us about what you told me in email? And I completely forgot what I told him in email just a couple days before that. So he had to talk about it. So, we do have dormitories on site. Right now we have 4 dorm rooms, double, triple occupancy. We want to build a second floor But you know, if people are interested in going down, especially the content creators, the YouTubers, do some live streaming from there. You know, coming down or just come down and tape some stuff down there. You know, we're willing to host people for, you know, a week or so if they're interested in that. If you are, you can always email me.
Okay. And Fish Fam. Okay, good. I see Lori dropped your fishfam.link and your email, and all your stuff is on there. So, there's the spider.
Yep.
Did you see it? It was in front of my face.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested in that, maybe you know, it sounds like a great opportunity. If I had, if I traveled better, I'd be jumping at it. I would absolutely.
We also, you know, people want to come and be an intern or volunteer. The only difference between interns and volunteers are interns normally are college students. Yeah. They like the word intern. Volunteers tend to be older people. You know, the only thing we ask for is 3 weeks minimum time. I know that's difficult for a lot of people because of vacation time, but there could be, you know, we could do it a little bit shorter if need be. But, you know, we want to train you for whatever you're going to do, help us with research, work in the aquarium, do whatever. You know, there's always those opportunities there as well for, you know, and that's really for any time of the year to come down to Peru. You know, I'm there right now, you know, during my summer breaks for 3 months, but, you know, there's always people there. So
which is coming up,
like
right?
You couldn't come down. Yeah. I leave next Sunday. I leave for Peru.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up soon. That's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for somebody from the Fish Fam or other people, you know, just content creators that, you know, being able to go down there and, you know, you got to make your way, but talk to Dr. Awesome. And you know, he mentioned he would work with people on some certain things, and who knows what could come about. But it'd be great for you, if, you know, you as a content creator, and it'd be great for them too, for the publicity and stuff. It's a marriage made in YouTube.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea, and I was trying to think of different people that would be good for it. And you know, I would jump at it if I could, but there's absolutely no way I could do it. I would love to do it. But anyways, okay. Well, now's a good time. Wait, is there anything that you'd like to tell people that we didn't talk about? Anything, either personal or about anything else you've got coming up? Like you did say, again, on the 1st of July, you'll be doing live streams for the grand opening from the place. But is there anything else that you'd like to?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. No. Okay. And I call him Dr. Awesome because of the TV show Psych. No, Chuck. Sorry. Chuck. If anybody remembers a TV show, Chuck called his sister's boyfriend, who was a doctor, he was a medical doctor, Dr. Awesome. And the first time I started talking to you, it just hit me, and that's why it's been Dr. Awesome since. So that's why. And I like that you said some of your students have.
Yeah. My students call me Dr. Awesome. And in Cambodia, when I worked in Cambodia, they called me Dr. Amazon. Don't know why Dr. Amazon. I guess Dr. Mazerol was too hard for them, so they would call me Dr. Amazon.
Dr. Amazon sounds like totally different type of thing.
Yep, exactly.
I knew it was going to be Dr. Awesome. Just saying, Joe Stan said. Yeah, I think a lot of people, once they actually looked at the thumbnail, knew who it was going to be. Yes, but I like the idea of it.
That was my high school yearbook senior photo.
Yeah. I don't have one. I didn't do I did my freshman year. I did a photo, and I didn't even use my real name. I put Jimmy Page, the guitarist for Led Zeppelin. So you go, if you knew where I went to high school, you would have to look up for Jimmy Page, and that's the only time I was in any yearbook. I was never in another yearbook after that.
Well, my high school, you know, my graduating high school class had 75 people in it. So most of us had been in from kindergarten together all the way through school. So, you know, very small town. You know, at the time it had like 1,500 people in our city at the time. So,
yeah, I moved a lot, so people didn't know, who I was. So it was easy to hide.
yeah.
Okay, so now's a good time. If you've got questions, we've gone almost an hour already. And again, just a reminder, there's some really good streams still tonight. Aquafunk goes his normal time tonight at 10, but at the same time, Kenny from ABC Biotope Creations is doing his 500 sub giveaway. So you got 2 streams to choose from there. It's a tough choice, really, because I really like both of those people quite a bit. And then at 11:30 tonight on Misfit, we're going to be doing Cards Against Humanity. It's going to be there's going to be a few of us up there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So check that out too. And there's other streams too. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other ones, but those are the ones that stick out for me. So if you've got questions for Dr. Awesome, now's the time to ask them. And thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the member messages. Let's do this thing. Let's see some questions. Look, not a single one. There we go. And thanks everybody. There's still 66 people watching. Thanks guys for coming in and hanging out with us.
Where's
Dee
Myrtle?
said she was feeding fish. Is Myrtle here?
Man, he never misses one.
Well, he's doing finals right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you would definitely.
There's a question from Alishon.
Yeah, you see that? You can see chat. Okay, go. Feel free.
I know. I'm in. StreamYard. If I'm in the comments of StreamYard. It doesn't do them all, but it does many of them.
Yeah.
So Alishon, yes, we did announce the winner for the trip. His name is Alexander Lerner. He is from Germany. I wish it was someone from the Fish Fam. You all, really supported it by buying tickets, but it was, we didn't have many people from outside the U.S., but he was just happened to be one of them. And he's kind of come, I believe, the first week of August.
Just got a really good roll of thunder. Oh, hope it rains. And does he speak English?
No, not that well. He speaks German, of course. I do not speak German very well. I can say "Sprechen the Deutsch, Fräulein," which means you speak German, young lady, or whatever, and that's it.
Wirklich, wirklich is really. That's really. That's wirklich. That's all I know.
I know a bird guide person who is Swiss who speaks German. So if need be, we could have,
okay,
he can come along, but
you got to get some footage of you, Carlos, and Alexander having a conversation. I need to watch that. I feel like it's going to be like a Benny Hill episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Let's see, Mickham. There we go. If I go to Dr. A in Peru, how far let's see. How far can or will you go away from the local town for searching fish? Oh, I get it. 2-day, 3-day trips by boat. So do you get what he's asking there?
Yeah. Well, for me, for us personally, we normally just do day trips. We don't take big boats out. We in the past when I was looking for fish for my research, we would go out for a day, maybe spend the night and do some night fishing and then come back the next day. But it's, we don't have a big boat. We have to rent the canoes from everybody. So it's normally for us, it's just day trips where we may stay out all night long or all day long, or if it's night, stay out all night long fishing, but it's not anything where we go off 2 or 3 days. Now, there is the probability that, for my research this coming summer, we will be traveling to a little village about 2 or 3 day boat ride to look at the red pencilfish. Red pencilfish is critically endangered, but it's still being exported in large numbers. And what we want to do is look at the distribution of the red pencilfish, where it's found, because it's only supposed to be found in one small area.
Oh, okay.
So we want to do some population work there. And so, but that's a couple day boat ride for sure.
And that'd be awesome. Mickham's from Sweden, so that'd be very cool. Scotty wants to know if you got an email about the clash in the last couple days from Scotty to Fish Creek.
I have not received anything from Scotty
in
a couple months when he told me to, go jump in the lake.
Okay. Oh, I just got a thunderstorm warning. Let me just look real quick. Nice. Anything? Oh, good. 60-mile-per-hour winds with quarter-size hail. Woohoo! Bring it on. All right, sorry. Bunny Viper. I'd like to know if Doc has any advice on breeding archers. Mine are definitely showing breeding behavior. I think that'd be an incredible breeding project for the future.
No, I don't know anything about breeding archers. They're great fish. I love their feeding action. But no, I don't have any experience breeding archers at all.
Okay.
But if they do breed for you, take down notes, and
so you be that person.
Yeah. And, videotape it or something and, show it on a stream or so. That'd be fantastic.
And if anybody has any feedback for Bunny Viper too, for Ivy, let her know. If you know somebody that's done it or, has some experience that way, please let Bunny Viper know.
Give them a lot of crickets, I would say. Lots of crickets, since they're, top feeders. That will really bring them into season a lot better, I would say.
Gotcha. Crickets aren't bad. I've had crickets.
I've eaten scorpions. Not scorpions, tarantulas.
Yeah, tarantula. It's got like that shrimp flavor a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
The shrimp flavor. Yeah, in Cambodia we had fried tarantula. Made all my students, or they would flunk. They didn't eat fried tarantula.
I remember that story. Yeah. And please do the @RicoStan. I'm there's a lot of other conversation going on, so do the @RicoStan. I did see Richard Reynolds. I just happened to see yours, but please do the @RicoStan or at I forgot what your damn name is on the thing. Whatever Dr. Awesome's actual name is on YouTube, do that, you too, so it pops out for one of us. But Richard would like to know if you can do collecting down at the center.
Yeah, we have to collect for the aquarium. We have permits to collect. That's one of the problems about people who want to come and collect on their own down there is that, to be legal, you have to have collecting permits. Margarita Tours, which is the big tour company that people use. Corey at Aquarium Co-op, when he's been to Peru, he's used Margarita Tours. They have a collecting permit that they have. So people just can't go down there for vacation and then go off and collect fish. They can, but it's illegal. Yeah.
And do you have to have like an export import as well to go with that, or is that part of the collecting license?
No, that's not, because what you do is then if you have proper permits, then you just find a local exporter to send your fish for you.
Okay.
Yeah. We work with a couple fish, and there was a comment, Paul Sotero wanted to know how do I get my discus home, is that I use one of the local exporters that I know very well. And he will ship any fish that I catch back to me. And, of course, I buy fish from him as well, just to make it his, worthwhile for him to do it too.
Okay, so you got Paul's question there, which tied in. And thank you, Eduardo. I see you did Richard's question for me there too. Stephen, insert Myrtle's question here. Okay, so Myrtle, since he can't be with us tonight,
yes,
his question. He's asked it 65 times because he did miss a couple of focus-ons, but he's been here for most of them. So you know what it is, right? It's
what would I change about you?
Yep, and what would I change about you? So you go first. Do you have any?
Let's see. What would I change about you? I actually would change and have you stream every day during a time when I can watch. Because a lot of times you stream, during the day right after the morning show. Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm in class, so I always got maybe the tail end of your live stream if I got out of class early. But I've come to enjoy your streams because, like you said, the chat is the stream. And it's I don't I don't follow that many people. I only follow one big channel. Big channel to me is more than 10,000 people, and that's Alex's. Primarily because he was the first to ask me on. He knew of me because he would come to our Saturday our Zoom talks,
which I missed today.
Yeah, so he just invited me on, and that's actually what got me started in YouTube was him.
Another thing to either thank Alex or blame him for. One of the I'm not sure, but because Alex is a great guy. He is.
Yeah, I like the smaller channels because it's you don't have 200 people in the chat. It's more familiar to everybody. Everybody seems to know everybody in the smaller channels, and that I enjoy it. This group of people have become my friends. I'm not one to make very many friends. I don't go out with people very often. And so, I've made what I think are good friends here, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's,
I'm with you.
I never thought that would happen, but it's, it's happened.
Me neither. Me neither. 100%. Never, and not for nothing, but you mentioned Tuesdays and Thursdays, and both Tuesdays and Thursdays I stream twice, or even Thursdays 3 times. Yep. so I mean, I do sort of hit that time. I do try to do it often. And going right after Tams just sort of makes sense because at first there was nobody going after Tams. Yeah. Nobody. It was all until in the afternoon, and there was all these people that wanted stuff. So I was going 5 days a week there for a short while, but then Jimmy wanted to do a stream on Wednesdays, so I backed off of Wednesdays, and then John wanted to go on Fridays, so then because I always said, if somebody wants to stream, don't do it because don't not do it because I am.
Yeah.
Because I'll let you go. I'm just filling in because there's nobody here.
Yep.
What would I change about you? I had a hard time with this last time too. Man, I don't know.
Give me hair.
I don't know. Do you want hair? Do you want hair?
I knew I was going to go bald growing up. My dad was bald, so it wasn't a big surprise to me. Remember, grass doesn't grow on a busy street. Just remember that.
I don't know. You seem like you're generally happy with your life. Genuinely. Say it for me. Genuine. I can't say it. My mouth is not working. Genuinely.
Now I can't say it.
Genuinely.
Genuinely. That's
generally
it.
And genuinely. Jesus. Happy in your life. So I can't think of anything that I would change to make that any better. You seem like you found your place in the world.
Yeah. Sure. There are days where, we all get up and say, why? Sure. Poor me. But, that's it. Most of those days aren't like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe, I got nothing. I'm letting Myrtle down. I'm letting Myrtle down. Poor Myrtle. I'm sure right now he's failing a test all because of that. So it'll be on me that his future is destroyed. Okay, Scotty.
But at the clash, you'll look at me and say, "That's what I would change about you."
Yeah, maybe after spending some time with you, but like, oh man, I got a list. I have a list. Which again, for anybody who didn't know, Dr. Austin will be at the clash with so many. The rest of I see a ton of people in the streams, Eduardo and Steven and just Lori and so many, Alishon, Jenna, my mouth is not working right. Just so many people that are going to be there. We're going to have a blast. Out of all the events, I really think that the Keystone Clash is going to be the one that has the most Fish Fam members at it. Triple Crown's going to have a ton, Fishtoberfest ton, but I really think that out of those types of events, the Keystone Clash is, and I'm probably saying that just because that's what I'm going to be at. I'm sure there's some, but all right. So Scotty said, did you see the one from Scotty too? He said he'd message you.
Okay. I did not see that one.
He said, I'll message you. It would be from someone else, not Scotty. So check your spam.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no spam in that email, but okay.
Jenna says, did Dr. Anthony have a favorite part about his time at LSU? And P.S. announce it like a Louisiana. LSU.
Go
LSU.
Tigers, Geaux. I'd make fun of them how to spell go all the time. Best time about LSU, probably two things. Going to LSU football games. I've always been a college football fan growing up. So, to see a big stadium like that, watching LSU, Alabama, all these big name schools. And the second thing I enjoyed most about my time at LSU was on the way home from the campus to my apartment, there is a Popeyes fried chicken.
I was going to ask about food.
Yeah. And I love their chicken, but I really love their red beans and rice even more.
I remember you said that before. Yeah. I think Tams or something. Yeah. And was there any other food that stuck out when you were in Louisiana?
Of course, crawfish, sucking the heads off crawfish where all the fat is. That's where all the, the hepatic pancreas is what it uses to filter out all the pesticides, all the heavy metals from the water, and you're sucking it. And so you're ingesting all those toxins.
Make it sound so delicious.
Yes.
Mount Greeny, hello. There's Mickham saying, am I gonna do water changes all night to induce spawning now when low pressure is coming in? I missed something in there. What?
Much cooler water if a low pressure is coming in. Do it with cooler water.
And I've heard that just not even with the low pressure though, but just sometimes just the cooler water all by itself. Yeah. Yeah. I remember Terry was talking about that when I was talking about getting the Bozemanis to spawn. Oh, and I have some Pseudomagil fry.
Oh.
Never even saw there again, colony. I don't do anything. But the Pseudomagills, I never saw actual eggs, but my eyes I have a hard time seeing that stuff that small. But there is a couple of Pseudomagil fry in there too.
There is a question from Eduardo.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he says, Dr. Anthony, will you or the center being offer a future invitation for young men and women to be able to go to the center? Yeah, there's interns and volunteers are always welcome. The only thing we ask for interns, besides that, for interns is you have to be above 18 unless you are accompanied by an adult. We don't want to have any. We're not a babysitting thing, and 17-year-olds are adults for the most part, but not in a foreign country. I mean, that's too scary. So
yeah.
So you just go to the website and under Get Involved, there's a little tab called Get Involved, and you click on that, and it'll have the application for interns, and then that comes directly to me. Those applications.
Dennis Christensen would like to know what the temperature variation seasonally in the local rivers around the research center. Does it fluctuate a lot seasonally?
For the water temperatures itself, the river we mostly work in is the Rio Nanai. During our summers, which is their winter time, it's about 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Their summers is actually the cold period. That's the rainy period. The water gets to low of probably about 79, 80.
Okay.
So there is an influx of cool water, but it's not, the water is not coming from the Andes. It's percolating from the surrounding areas and, from the little creeks and infiltrating through the soil.
Gotcha. So not a huge swing, but there is some there.
Yeah.
Alishon would like to know if you've seen the Oliver Lucanis video on what he calls the really red pencil fish.
Yes. And we know the exporter who he got them from. It's actually a friend of ours there in Peru. And what we're trying to do now is trying to get a couple of those specimens for me to bring back to do some genetic work on to see if they're completely different from the red pencil fish there. They're supposedly caught in a completely different area. But again, no one really knows the distribution of the red pencilfish to begin with. They think maybe it's just a variety of the purple pencilfish. That's what people are saying right now. But, since it's brand new, no one really knows.
Okay. So really red. So they just are a vibrant red color?
The whole body is red. Instead of the red pencilfish has a red and black stripe, this is like it's just a big red blotch on its entire body.
Okay. Pencilfish are pretty cool. I've never had any, but I definitely want some. Fanaticals. And again, I'm skipping over. I do see Sherry coming in. I see a bunch of people coming in saying hi and stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't catch all the highs and everything, but hi everybody. Hi everybody. That's the tough thing about the Focus On is I do like to look at the chat so much, but it's the one stream when I really don't. So Fanaticals would like to know what makes you geek out the most. What really just makes you wow, cool.
Watching fish spawn.
Yeah.
No, if one of my fish spawns, that's I'm not one of these hobbyists who that's what I want to do. I want to spawn all my fish. So when it happens, it's something really exciting because that's not my intention is to spawn fish and to sell fish. And like I said, I give most of my fish away or take them to the local club for their auctions, and you get pennies on a dollar for your fish. So that really makes me geek out, especially if something that I've never spawned before.
That's a good answer because I don't try either, and I love colony tanks. So when I do get like I had a Bosemani make it through with no help from me, and now I've got Pseudomagills same way. It's guppies that anything like that, but those other ones, it is pretty cool. It definitely gets me too. Okay, so you got Eduardo's. Scrolling down, and again, I'm probably skipping a lot of stuff, but I'm looking for the pop out there, the @Rico stand. And Paul said this one all the time. God only made a certain amount of perfect heads, the rest he covered with hair.
That's right.
And I did shave my head once, and that won't ever happen again. Never again will I do that. It was right after I retired, and I wanted a change because I had even longer hair, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I shaved my head, and I shaved my beard, and it was not good. My eyebrows kept doing this because my head felt so much lighter. If like my eyebrows were trying to escape off my head. I look like Daddy Warbucks. Susan said, I'm going to be at the Keystone Clash in name only. I sponsored the Loach section. I did see that, Susan. Very cool. And thank you for sponsoring. That was very cool.
Yeah, we sponsored the discus class.
Did you? Nice.
The Amazon Research Center. Discus is my favorite fish. It's our emblem for our research center. And I thought, hey, I got to get the discus before someone else does.
I don't remember what I did. I did the hospitality suite, but I did something.
That was enough. But you did a few more.
I didn't do it like Lefty. Lefty did a lot, but I did a couple of them. I did like 2 or 3, and I don't even remember which ones they are now. Brooklyn Bell says, one last thing. Go Tigers. She spelled it.
Yeah.
Like you did. Joe Stan. And again, I'm just lucky that I saw this. So please do the @Rico Stan because I've just got lucky that I saw Joe Stan's question. What class did you get to C in?
I got a C in limnology. Freshwater. Limnology, study of freshwater.
Okay.
There was 4 of us in that class. The highest grade in the class was a B-.
Wow.
Our instructor wasn't a college professor. He was actually one of the local fish and wildlife agents or, game and fish, whatever it was there in Louisiana. And he would just tell us stories the whole time. Not content, just tell us stories. And so we had no idea what the tests were going to be on.
That seems to, and the fact that you could easily, seems very wrong.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Seems very wrong.
My life turned out better for it. So.
All right, let's see. I think Dr. Richard Reynolds, that's where I'm at 9 minutes past. So I'm only 6 minutes behind. Richard Reynolds would like to know if you're going to the Triple Crown. What events are you going to go to this year? Is it just the Keystone Clash?
Yeah, I'll be a speaker at
Oktoberfest.
At Fishtoberfest. Yes.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah. A lot of good speakers, and that's another one I would love to be at. But a lot of good speakers. You, Alex, Bentley. Help me out. There's like one or two more. Chris Biggs, I think. Chris Biggs is going to be one.
I think so. Yes.
And maybe Dan's Fish again. I don't know if Dan's going to make it this year.
What I say it's going to be the fat guys convention, because all of us are a little portly who are speaking.
Okay.
So Dan's Fish, he's not a portly guy. So
no, it's Chris Biggs.
Yeah.
Chris Biggs doesn't look portly. He just looks crazy. Yeah. He just looks crazy.
And then and then they're going to have Stephen P there doing some rapping. Who knows what he's going to be doing?
He's the MC. He's
the MC. Thing. Yes.
Yeah. Who else? A Skipper's going to. That's another one.
Going because he won the thing. That's right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Eduardo, allowing our fish debris without interference from us is the best nerdy thing that I love. Creating the vibe for them is very satisfying. Yeah. Joe Stan, just assume I don't see him, Joe Stan. That's the thing, is you know how it works when you do the @Rico stand, it's orange, so I can really see it, because otherwise there's a lot of conversation that I just sort of skip through to get to the questions. Although we do have quite a bit of time left. We usually on the Saturday night streams, regardless if it's a focus on or what it is, we usually do the 2-hour stream. So I may have complained that grade was not your fault. I missed what the rest of that was.
Well, probably the C. But no,
he said he said he would have complained that it wasn't your fault.
I took it like a big boy. You can't blame others for your own failings. That's the way I look at it. Other people did fine in the class.
Well, I mean, B- you said was the best one, so it couldn't have been that good.
In some ways I wanted to get out of Louisiana too, because I like getting my personal life, but I was actually my girlfriend, who I thought we were trying to work things out, got married that year to another guy.
Wow.
Even though I thought we were working it out. So I wanted to get out of there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Was she in Louisiana, or where was she?
She was in Louisiana. Yeah. We met during our master's program. She was in the master's program. She was actually an undergraduate at the university, and then went into the master's program. Yeah. So
you thought you were working things out, and then you get an invite to the wedding.
No, she didn't even tell me. She got married on Valentine's Day, and I had a good friend who was still at that university in the master's program, and he called me and said, "Oh, she got married this weekend?" No, not at all. I thought we were, I talked to her 2 weeks ago, and I thought we were trying to work things through.
Communication.
Yep.
I'm actually at the bottom of the chat.
I got to tell my wife she wants to microwave something. It'll interfere with the internet connection.
That's okay.
Okay, go ahead. He says go ahead. Rico says go ahead.
You're good, Renee.
Yeah.
Tell them I've been it before. I've been on Zoom.
Okay.
I mean, if we lose you for a minute, that's all right. We don't we don't want her to not eat.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Alishon said it sounds like a history professor of mine who would play music and tell stories. Fun class. Joe Stan, Dr. A, how much do you think you spend on travel back and forth to the research center annually?
Oh, that's
For both of us?
For my wife wants to know, for both of us or just me?
Do you both go every time, or is it split up?
She's been going the year she retired, she went with me the whole summer. And so she goes for part of the time that I'm there, because she can't take off work that much.
For you, it's 4,000. For me,
it's it's about 2,000 a trip per person.
So
and so if I do 3 trips, the money does add up.
And Scuba Steve, Richard Reynolds just asked that a few minutes ago there, Scuba Steve. He's not, Dr. Awesome will not be at the Triple Crown. The only 2 he'll be making it to this year are the Keystone Clash and the Fishtoberfest up there in Oregon. Is it in Oregon? It's in Oregon.
Yeah, it's in Portland. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was by there.
Yeah.
Joe Stan says, tell Renee to pop on and say we need to see hey, we need to see who puts up with you. Renee's been on before, but yeah,
she's been on the morning show. Yes, when I've gone on.
If she would like to just wave.
She come over here and just stay up, and you don't have to put your face in.
No pressure.
I got my booster yesterday. I've not been feeling well today.
Yeah, so she got her booster yesterday for the virus, and it kind of knocked her out today. So she's not really feeling that good. So
I get it.
She would prefer not to be on.
No pressure.
She's been on the morning show, so
yep.
We've
seen her a couple times, or at least in the background, she'll pop in and wave just a little bit.
She likes listening to those old biddies. She laughs at them.
Scuba Steve says, "Oh, sorry, I must be behind." Nope, no worries, no worries. I get it. There's a ton of questions, and but oh man, yeah, I get it. We all want everybody to go to those events that we are going to go to. I get it. I'm happy that he's going to the Clash, but I understand why he'd be upset he's not going to Triple Crown. And I wanted to go to the Triple Crown too.
I'll be in Peru. I mean, I'm in Peru until the end of August. So right now that is the priority, is to get everything done in Peru.
Where do you stay when you're down there? Is there a little house on the property, or
we stay in the dormitories?
Okay, in the dormitory.
We take one of the rooms in the dormitories.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Sarah says hi, and what is Dr. Awesome's favorite part of research?
My favorite part of research is actually traveling. Traveling to all these places.
Oh, gotcha.
What my research has brought me up, all over the world to see fish. I enjoy watching fish. That's what I do.
Ask Rico if I can answer that for you.
Okay, my wife wants to answer that question for me.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
His favorite part is the field work, the fish work. It's the doing part. His least favorite part is writing the manuscript.
She knows me too well.
I'm sorry. I got a super chat and I got to change those bubbles. They went off and ruined it. So all I heard was towards the end, the manuscript. What did she say? I'm sorry, Renee.
My favorite part is doing the research. What else, Renee?
Doing it. It's actually going out in the field.
Yeah, going out in the field, doing the research.
Looking at the fish.
Looking at the fish. My worst part of my work is writing up the manuscripts.
Yeah.
I hate writing.
Well, yeah. Paperwork's always the worst part of any job. Always. And there's the reverse, the bizarro Alexander Engelhart says, "Hern you go, Runko and Dr. Arthur." Bizarro land.
That's a new way of spelling his name, huh?
It's the bizarro Alexander. $2.07, and thanks so much. Richard Reynolds, the Oktoberfest is at Portland. I'm not sure it's at I don't know.
It's in Portland. It's right by the airport.
Shanna's going to be there. There's Shanna. Fishtoberfest is in Portland. Do they have any information out about it currently, Shanna? And where can we find that? Maybe, fishfam.link. Matt, do you have stuff about Fishtoberfest there?
I don't think Kenny's put up anything yet.
Okay. Alishon said, "I missed the seahorse breeding talk today." Me too. You know what? I was in the middle of doing stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that Zoom thing." And I came in. It was like 1:48 my time. It started at 1 my time, and so it was like, damn it.
But we'll put that on. We'll put that on YouTube. We'll put that on our channel.
Okay, great. Thank you. He was at the NJAS meeting. Is that the last one for the summer? And when will it resume?
Yeah, that was the last one for the summer, and it'll resume again in September.
Okay. Thank you.
It's just, we don't know what internet's going to be like from day to day there at the research center.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah. Oh, the spider came back down.
Oh, that was a fairly large spider.
Yeah. They get some pretty big guys.
Yeah.
Come here. I'm basically pulling strings out of his ass right now, but he's not coming down. Now there's, like I said, I really like spiders. They don't bother me at all. But my wife is deathly afraid of them. So usually she opens the door and stands right there at the threshold. She doesn't come into this room very often at all because, especially right up here, this is the area. This is where they're at. They're all over. Did you see some of those other ones? So we talked about Oktoberfest. We talked about that. Oh, here we go from Whips World. And hey, dude, even though you've achieved so much success in life to this point, if the good spirits were to manifest before you tomorrow and offer you the perfect job, what job was offered?
Probably working at a public aquarium. Being a curator of a public aquarium.
Yeah. Where?
Really anywhere.
Yeah.
When I retire, I'll spend much of the year in Peru doing just that at the research center. So I will have that opportunity for that perfect job.
Yeah.
I just like being around fish. I tell a lot of people I prefer to be around fish than most people.
Yep.
But
yeah,
I'm just a fish freak. So
I can't remember who originally said it, but I took it to heart, is that the more I'm around people, the more I like my dog.
Yeah.
Joe Stan says, you said you have AC down there when it was hard to get. Oh, you said you have AC down there. Was it hard to get American amenities in Peru?
You can get most American amenities. They're much more expensive, like a dryer. It's important for me to have a dryer to go with the washer, the clothes washer that we have at the research center. Because with 100% humidity, you put things out to dry. They don't dry. They get dank. They get moldy.
Yeah.
And after a while, it doesn't smell good. So I looked hard and long to find a dryer, and I was able to find one dryer in the city. And so I bought that dryer from a store. You can get things in Lima, but the shipping rate now, internal shipping rate, is so expensive that it doubles and triples the cost of things to have things shipped from Lima.
Yeah. How far away is Lima to?
Lima is a flight. It's an hour and a half flight south.
Okay. So it's a
we're
good
talking,
distance.
Yeah. We're talking, probably 500, 600 miles, but there's no roads into Iquitos. The only way you can get there is fly or a boat. So
Gotcha.
if you want it now, you're going to have to fly it. And that's, $100 a kilo to fly things down there. So
$100 a kilo.
Yep.
It's not going to even touch that. Let's see. Eduardo said, adding to the Joseph Stanley question, a few students over 18 have asked about the cost while they are there. Besides the plane fare, the actual stay costs.
If they're doing an internship, they have no costs. We put you up in the housing. We feed you. The only cost that you would have is for, if there was some special food that you wanted that no one else would eat, we make you buy that.
Adult beverages.
Adult beverages, yes. Drinking age in Peru, I think, is 7 years old. So everything, people drink. I think it's the actual age is 18, but I don't know where that's enforced. If you want to buy gifts, we don't do that. We won't buy your trinkets to take home. But if they're doing an internship, volunteer, they really have very little costs associated with their stay.
Room and board is covered, so just
room and board is covered.
Extra stuff.
Yep.
And that's awesome. That's it's an incredible opportunity for somebody.
Yeah.
I bet you we're going to start seeing more people jumping at it too. Just because, how often do you get an opportunity like that to be able to go? It still costs a lot to get down there.
Yeah. But actually, I have one of my students is going to be coming down in the middle of June and working all summer there. His plane ticket, it was expensive, but it would be more expensive. He's coming from Detroit, and it was $1,200. If you flew out of LAX, that same ticket is $1,600 because there are more flights. He flies to JFK first, and there are more airlines flying from JFK to Lima than there are from LAX. Yeah. There's only one airline flies from LAX to Lima direct, and that's LATAM. That's the South American Airlines, and so they charge whatever they want to.
I see my signal has dropped. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Yep, you're fine.
My daughter had the same type of thing. She was flying to the UK to see her husband, and the flight got messed up, and they actually sent her to Mexico, and she was there for a couple of days and then flew from Mexico to the UK.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was quite, that was just weird.
Yeah.
Weird. And she was, it was wintertime. So she really, not wintertime, but I think it was like late fall. So she, all of her clothes were for the UK in the fall, not for Mexico,
Yep.
So, yeah, my signal, it looks horrible.
No, it's clearing up now, though.
It says it's bad. So we might see me freezing or whatever.
Okay.
It's, again, I've never actually done any troubleshooting. Anyways, let's see. The next one down I see is from Brenny. He says, what was Dr. Anthony's hardest obstacle to overcome throughout his fishy career? What was the toughest thing that you had to deal with?
Actually, the toughest thing I had to deal with was my own self-doubts. After being kicked out of the first program, I had a lot of doubts whether or not I could do it. And then during my time at Northern Arizona, after you take classes for 2 years, which was only 4 classes, and then you take qualifying exams, which tests you on everything that you're supposed to learn. So I passed the qualifying exam, and then one of the people on my committee spoke up and said, I don't think Anthony should be here. I think he should be out of the program, even though he passed me. Even though he passed me, and the class I took from him, I got 100%. I got an A in his course.
What was it? Do you know?
My advisor, well, I have no idea. And my advisor had no idea. No.
That's weird.
Just thought I didn't have what it took. And so, there was a lot of self-doubts, self-doubt about writing, so that was really the thing that I had to overcome, was my own internal strife. Because I'm a firm believer, you only need 2 things to get a college degree these days. Only 2. And those are 2 big stumbling blocks. And the first is money, and the second is the drive to stick to it. There's always a degree out there for anybody who wants to get a degree.
If they have money.
If they have money, and
if
they have that drive. Luckily for me, is once I graduated with my undergraduate, I only stayed in school because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and they kept on paying me to go to school. So,
yeah. My daughter is going to be a coroner, so she's still got quite a bit of school, and those Parent Plus loans, it's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy how expensive it is. All right, so looking for the next one. Mickham, he wants to know, what equipment should I bring if visiting? And we'll start with that one. What kind of equipment should he bring along if he's going to come visiting and he wants to do collecting and stuff? Do you have everything for him, or what kind of stuff would we need?
We have collecting, we have hand nets. We use, there's a company here in the U.S. That I bought all the nets from, the hand nets from, and I just don't remember their name. There's a really good net. We have seines. What people need you need long sleeve shirts. Even though it's hot and humid, you're right there at the equator. So you're going to be baking in the sun. You're going to need a nice hat, long pants. I wear zipper pants, quick dry type pants, and a pair of shoes that you don't mind getting in the water. You do not go barefoot in the rivers, not because of glass, but because there's these palms that I call pica palms, and pica means to get stuck. And they have these thorns that cover the whole base of the tree.
Gotcha.
and if you step on them, they'll go right through your foot.
Yeah.
So, I wear actually a pair of wading boots, fly fishing wading boots.
Yeah.
But, you can buy rubber boots there for $5. And so a lot of people just wait. There's no reason to take something like that when you can buy them so cheap there in Peru.
The long sleeve thing, when I did construction work in Arizona, I learned from, a lot of the Mexican guys, the Mexican nationals did construction, to wear like a heavy sweater instead of, like, when I first started, I'm wearing, sometimes shorts, depending on what job I was doing.
Yeah.
But, just a t-shirt and stuff. But they were always wearing these heavy sweaters. And I asked one of the guys, and it's like a swamp cooler. Yes, it's nasty because you're sweating through it, but it cools your body way off. That's the smart way to go. He had a second part to that too. He said, "Is there any recommendation on meds to bring because he's very allergic to bee stings?"
Well, just then, if you need an EpiPen, bring an EpiPen.
Are those types of things readily available or no? I mean, I know it's not a third world country, really.
No.
There's a lot of, I know that, but is it hard to get that kind of stuff?
I'm not sure about EpiPens. Like antibiotics you can get just in the marketplace, so antibiotics aren't a problem. The medicines that I bring with me is anti-malarial, which I use Melorone. You have to have yellow fever. And these days you have to be fully COVID vaccinated to get into the country. But other than that, I take, over-the-counter ibuprofen just because it's just, I want to have it on site if I have it. But yeah, a good anti-mosquito spray, not necessarily for the mosquitoes per se, but I always spray my boots because there's these little tiny chigger-like insects in the grass there, and they burrow into your ankles and they itch and you scratch to the point where you start bleeding. So before we go out, we always spray our shoes and our socks just as a precaution.
Gotcha. Lots of ankle biters.
Yeah, a lot of ankle biters. Yep.
and again, I'm at the bottom of the chat. If anybody has anything real quick, go ahead and throw it in there. But if not, we'll end up here pretty soon. We did go for, I don't know, almost an hour and 40 minutes. 70 people still watching, though. So thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us and learning more about Dr. Awesome. Tons of people to go through in the fish fam. I mean, just literally, there's hundreds and hundreds of people. We're just really, again, it's just one of me, and there's like, I've been doubling up. That's why we're doing Saturday streams as well, to try and maybe get through more people because there's just so many. If you have not been on the Focus On yet, there's no, it's not a popularity contest or anything like that. It's not like the cool kids get to go first or any of that kind of stuff. It's just how it flows. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else to it. But if you'd like to be focused on, my email is up there at the top of the screen over there in the middle. Rico@ricostand.com. Shoot me an email. Again, you don't have to have a channel. If you are a part of the fish fam, I'm interested. I want to add you to the list. Crown Tail Half Moon, hello, says, what's your favorite fish and why? And I just happened to see that because it was at the bottom of the chat. Yep. So again, people, remember, if you do have a question, make sure to do the @RicoStan so it pops out. Okay, so favorite fish and why?
Well, of course, it's discus for freshwater fish, just because they're so elegant. For marine fish, there are a couple. One, of course, is clownfish, because that's the fish that I was working on when I met my wife. Yeah. So she says I have to say clownfish. But if it wasn't for clownfish, there is a fish called the pearl fish. So after this stream, I want everybody to look up the pearl fish. It's just one of those strange fish that has a great lifestyle. And it's just fascinating.
I'm looking right now. There's a lot of different colors of them.
Yeah. They're long and slender. And where do they live there, Rico?
I have no idea because I'm looking at pictures.
Oh, okay.
I can go back, though.
They're a nocturnal species.
This said, oh, there we go. Nope, I do want pearl fish because it was searching for pearfish as well. Inhabit the tropical waters of the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans at depths of 2,000 meters. That sound like the right fish?
I think so, yes.
All right, let's see. We'll just pop open here and see if they've got. Hold on, let me see if they got a picture to go with this. No, not really. It's a drawing.
Okay.
Let me find a better picture.
So Misfit and Elishon have said where they live.
Here we go. Let's see if this is a good enough picture to share. And while I'm doing that, Zen Ginger, hi, Zenny. Zen says, your last meal, prison rules. So what she means is your very last meal that you have can be, there's whatever.
My last meal would be a good carne asada burrito.
Oh, good man. Yes. We were talking about that the other day, weren't we?
Yeah.
You don't have, what do you have there? It's not.
We have Roberto's, which is
a
local, primarily in San Diego County, but they also have them in Vegas. But yeah, it was started by a local person named Roberto.
And I don't even know if they still have the Filibertos that were in Arizona, but they were the best carne asada burritos I ever had. I absolutely loved them. Is this the right fish?
Yeah, that's one of the species of pearlfish.
It's weird looking.
You don't know where it lives yet? I mean, the actual place it lives?
I didn't even look. I just wanted to get the picture.
One of the places it lives is inside the intestinal tract of sea cucumbers.
Weird.
And there's only two ways to get into the intestinal tract.
Oh, no. Yep, I just read it.
And it doesn't get swallowed. Yes, it enters the anus of sea cucumbers during the daytime because it's a nocturnal species. They also live inside large tridacna clams as well, but an anus living fish that just intrigues me.
This says, however, some species are known to be parasitic on sea cucumbers, eating their gonads and living in their anal pores. There you go. So Doc's favorite fish is one that lives in an anal pore.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, you got the carne asada burrito. Scotty would like to know, besides discus, do you have a favorite? You just focus on the freshwater. You said
freshwater. My first fish were angelfish and guppies. So I like angelfish, but I like the catfish as well. I'm a catfish person, especially the wood cats.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I really like wood cats. I have 3 or 4 species of wood cats.
The Fisher wood cat, is that one you have?
I don't have the Fisher. I have Orca. Or no, Musica. I have. Oh, I don't remember now. I just did water changes.
That same guy who talked about earlier, Jesse from J&M, he had that's the first place I ever saw him. He has some beautiful ones, and I really wanted to get some. I have caught kangaroo catfish before. The fish that are parasites on fish gills, but they have been known to enter the urethra of humans. Okay, I've heard about those. Yes. What's up, Keith? He just had a comment there. Keep it relevant. Tom Christofferson. I'm not sure what Mickham.
Guess an epistle guy. Do I know Tom? I do not know Tom Christofferson.
Is he Chris's brothers?
Can he sing like Chris?
Zenny wants to know if you've ever picked up anything in your travels that he was not happy to bring home with him, a bacteria or stowaway critter, or like a fish that lived in your anal pore.
No, after one summer season in Cambodia, I came back with the Holy Trinity of stomach ailments. I brought back a protozoan a bacteria, and a virus.
Wow.
All caused me to have, bad diarrhea. Then it would stop for a couple weeks and come back and stop.
Wow.
And after about 2 months, I went to the doctor. He said, "Oh yeah, they cultured me, and I had bad viruses, bacteria, and protozoan." So I took Flagyl. One of the drugs I took was Flagyl, which is a drug we use with fish.
Gotcha.
And then I took a class of students to Peru one January, and we were in a little village. All the students slept in the elementary school, which had a cement floor. I got to sleep in the preschool, which had dirt floors, and I came back with pox all over my legs that it almost went septic. I had so bad of an infection on my legs.
What from? It was just what causes that? They don't know.
The bacteria in the dirt there. Yeah, it's just, none of the students got it because, they were, even though I was in a hammock, I was, walking on that dirt. So yeah, there are some, some things to worry about. You always get traveler's diarrhea, no matter what.
Yeah.
We drink bottled water in Peru. The water we get from the well is perfectly fine, but I just don't have people drink that. We make tea and coffee and all our food with bottled water, but you always get it first couple days. I mean, it's just common.
It is. Yeah. It's just all that different stuff that's not there.
You're eating.
And as an aside, when you move just right, the goldfish behind you, it really goes right around your head just right, and it looks. I don't know. It looks almost like you've got like an orange, like a Bozo the Clown thing going on or something.
Bozo the Clown.
I'm sorry. Okay. I've listened to you this whole time.
That's okay. I know.
I was listening, but then I was just distracted by that. And I was also distracted by, you said you went to Cambodia. So I had a holiday in Cambodia. The song stuck in my head. And okay. Ray says, you like asshole fish. Dang, one of the family. Robert. Mickup said I was wrong. Tom Christofferson is the correct name of the awesome Epistle guy. I think he's the same name, right? You just spelled it a little bit differently. Yeah. Do you have a favorite discus wild versus domestic strain?
Oh, it's got to be wild. I like domestic, but, got to be a wild fish. There's nothing more beautiful than a beautiful wild fish.
And Alishon talked about a ninja woodcat. I'm going to check that one out later. Favorite French fries?
There is my favorite French fries of all time. There is a restaurant in Iquitos called El Pollón, the chicken, and they make some of the best French fries I've ever had.
What do you think makes them so good? What is there anything, a secret that
I don't know.
Different about them?
Lately, they've been not very good.
Yeah,
but they used to make the best French fries. They were a little bit thicker than the French fries we normally get in the U.S. and they're
more like chips.
They're not frozen. Everything there. They don't have really frozen foods there per se. The frozen food they have is very expensive, and so their potatoes. Peru is the home of the potatoes. The Andes has 30 or 40 different types of potatoes. In Iquitos, you can only get 3 types of potatoes. That's it. You get Yukon Gold, you get sweet potatoes, and a little red potato. That's it.
Gotcha. So I do like sweet potatoes. Let's see. That was from Cat House. SC Cat House.
But unfortunately, my wife doesn't let us eat French fries very often here at home. So
it's good. It's good you got somebody watching out. We need that. We need that person watching us
as
out.
a cardiac nurse, we have to eat brown rice, no white rice at home. I resisted for a long time, but I actually prefer brown rice now.
See, you're lucky because I keep telling Michelle to not bring, stuff home. And then like last night we were watching a show and she came back out of the kitchen and she had an ice cream cone. I'm like, what? We said no. We're
our worst enemies. We'll be watching TV and I'll say, hey, you want me to go get some ice cream? Okay, sure. Go get some ice cream. I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to get my sorbet or something. Or I do have cheese pills, but if I eat too much milk products that no matter what, the lactate doesn't work.
Cheese pills?
That's what I call them, cheese pills. They're lactates.
Cheese pills.
I call them cheese pills.
I was just thinking, a pill made out of cheese, and I was like, "Oh, cheese pills. That sounds sort of good." Because I love cheese.
I do make a mean cheesecake, though. I'm known for my cheesecake.
How did that happen? Being on the West Coast isn't really, known for cheesecake.
I found a recipe and I made it once for my wife. And it was a chocolate cheesecake, but I didn't melt the chocolate chips. So it became a chocolate chip cheesecake. And it's, it's my standard cheesecake.
Okay. How well does it fly?
Maybe. You never know. Maybe. Connie said I should bring some and raffle them off.
Keith said, I've been all over the Far East, but I stayed pickled, so I never got sick.
Yeah, I understand that.
Zenny would like to know, and again, we've got just about 10 minutes left, 9 minutes. So again, tonight you got some choices. Usually at 10 p.m. you have Aquafunk, great show, always a lot of fun. Tonight he's got Mexicali Fish Keeper too, so George is going to be on there. George is a great guy. Really want to watch that, but at the same time, you also have ABC. Kenny is doing his 500 sub giveaway. So in just a few minutes, you got some choices on which stream you want to watch. Watch them both, whatever. But and then at 11:30 tonight, we will also be doing a Cards Against Humanity on Misfits channel. That'll be a lot of fun. So you got some choices tonight, and it's tough because I like both those guys quite a bit. That's the worst thing, The schedule is just so full of amazing creators that you miss people all the time. And I mean, that's what the replay is for, but still. Okay, Zenny would like to know if there's someplace you've gone collecting, but someplace you want to go collecting. It's on your bucket list, but you've never been able to make it there.
I would like to go to Malaysia, Indonesia. I really want to see licorice gouramis in their habitat before they're all wiped out. Licorice gouramis are getting rarer and rarer. It's probably, one of my favorite fish that I don't keep because they're just hard to find. They're tiny, they're beautiful, but I would like to go there to just do some collecting.
And where was that again? What rough area are they in?
Indonesia, Malaysia.
Oh, okay.
They're primarily in Malaysia, but I like the Far East. I've been to Cambodia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam. I've done collecting in those areas, but I would like to go just a little bit further south to go into Malaysia.
You're pretty well traveled. Yeah, I've been to Canada, Mexico, and the United States. That's it. That is it.
But it's all been because of fish that I've gone there.
Yeah, that's cool. Dixon, he says, I think I offended Rico. No, you didn't. I'm just looking for the @Rico stand. Nope. Alison, oh, this is a good one. Which animals are the Peruvians most wary of? Stingrays, venomous snakes, or caiman? What do they look? What is their most dangerous? What's their biggest one that they're wary of?
Any snake. If they see any snake, they immediately kill it. That's especially a lot of them, don't go into the river, so they don't really worry about the stingrays because they're in more of the shallow waters areas. There are very few caimans around. They've been fished out, but they all are afraid of snakes. That's the fear that most of them have.
Well, is there a lot of really bad venomous snakes or bad snakes there, or what?
No,
what causes that?
No, it's just.
Is it basically a cultural thing? I mean, is it?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. In my 14 years there, I have seen 3 snakes. That's it. Because they kill them as soon as they see them. So I've never seen an anaconda in a while. I've never seen a venomous snake. It's always been the garter snake types.
Yeah. Real quick, it just reminded me of a thing. There's a lot of bird watching around this area. It's a really good place to go bird watching. And there's a little place not too far. It's only like a mile away. And we were stopping there because there's a pond and there was a bunch of waterfowl out there and I couldn't see what they were. And I wanted to get a little closer. We got out of the car and Michelle's like, I don't want to go out there. There's probably snakes. I'm like, there's no snakes right here. And I took a step, and there was a big black, I don't know what it was. It was a big black snake right there by my foot. And I was like, oh, hey, there's a snake. And she's like, jump back in the car. And I was like, okay, so you're right. I'm wrong. Regina says, hey, we have Cheesecake Factory. I just meant, historically, cheesecake is more of an East Coast. But, again, we've talked about this numerous times. I think the United States is so homogenized that, yes, you still have regional things, but you can find good versions of barbecue almost everywhere. You can find good versions of pizza everywhere. You can find, whatever the food is that's a regional food in the United States, wherever you live, you can probably find a decent version of it in your area, All right. Skipper has what hair products does the doc use?
Yeah. What hair products? Probably the same hair products he uses.
Yes.
On his bald head. Give me a good cheap shampoo. It's all I need. And Joseph Stanley, they do not eat snakes in Peru either. So they kill them and waste them.
Oh, here's one. Sandy O. Hi, Sandy. Do you have a particular fish you like that you collect or want to study in Peru? And there's my buddy Alexander. Dude. He's always
Come
doing
over
it.
to my stream, Alexander. Come over.
He's always doing it. Alexander, Thank you again. And for anybody who didn't see it, we did interview Alexander this past Tuesday. Very enlightening. Good guy. I felt like I met a kindred soul. Although he is able to drop a lot more super chats than I am, but still, it was a real fun stream. So if you didn't get to see that, go back and watch the replay and learn a lot more about Alexander. He's very, very forthcoming about his life and everything. It was really interesting. Okay.
Huge.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Bex also did $100 one once from her mom, but that was basically created for Alexander because and so did Matt Liquid Zoo. He did a big one too. It was like a $250 super chat. Crazy amounts from these people, but that really was created because Alexander. It's basically for him because he does that, and I've been seeing him across the board. He's been hitting up so many different channels with that, and it's just so welcomed. The other day with Lefty about shit his pants. It's just, and I understand. Okay, let's go back. The particular fish you want to collect or want to study in Peru right now, is there something that stands out? You said the pencil fish.
Pencil fish, yeah. One of the things we hope to do, we hope to start a captive breeding program for tigrinus catfish. So that's a research project that the government asked us to do with the catfish that was confiscated that we have in our possession.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
do you get that kind of request often from the government there?
No, we got these fish as part of their confiscation program as from the customs from an illegal shipment. And the plan was for us to release them back into the Amazon River. And so we had prepped them. We were making sure they were only being fed live food, to keep them used to capturing food for themselves. And then we had the Ministry of Fisheries come to the facility to look at them to make sure they were healthy. And they told us, they said, the other fish that they gave to another entity, they had given them 1,000 fish and they killed them all.
Wow.
And the 30 that we got, because they were trying us out, all survived. And so because they survived, they want us to start a captive breeding program.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. You proved yourself.
Yeah.
You proved yourself. Awesome.
And now we're the only ones to receive confiscated fish. The other entity is no longer viable for the Ministry of Fisheries.
There's still some more questions, so we will have to do a second part in the future. But we do need to end it because, again, both those guys are going. Aquafunk is starting right now, and ABC is doing his 500 sub giveaway and everything. I don't want to go either one of those guys. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. have a safe trip to Peru this time. And
thank you for having me on.
I'm sure we'll see you while you're down there whenever the internet is,
Yep.
I know a lot of times it's good.
Yeah, I'll still be trying to do my live stream down there, and trying to do the Skipper and Professor show on Skipper's channel while I'm there too.
Yeah, and those times. Go ahead.
And I hope to do some live streaming while we're on the river collecting fish.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Or at least recorded videos, even.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Yeah.
And the times for those are 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. That's Doctor's one. And he does a really good presentation. It's always very educational. And then Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Skipper's channel, they do the Professor and Skipper Kicked Off the Island.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And that's a lot of fun too, and educational, because you get to see Doc correct Skipper when he says fingers
and Ewins and all those, whatever he says. I don't know what he says.
I never ever noticed that until you said that. I've talked to Skipper. I mean, I met him at the Clash. We talk, we call each other on the phone. I don't know how many times a week, and it never came out. It never stuck out to me until you pointed out fingers, and now I can't not hear.
Yeah,
everybody, thanks for being here. Go catch one of those other guys, and we'll see you guys all. Oh, Tuesday is Paul Cetera. This Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Paul Cetera will be our next focus on, and that Joe Stand guy is coming up soon too. So we'll see you guys. Thanks.